Hey, NewPointe, have I told you lately that I love you? I want you to know that I really, really do. And I not only love you, but you know what else? I am really jacked and excited about 2023. And you might say, Dwight, why? Well, I believe that in 2020, we had a crisis. We all remember that, right? I mean, it just came on us like a flood. And then I think in 2021, we kind of had a ability to adapt. We had to adapt because of the crisis that we were experiencing. And then I think in 2022, we were in this kind of transitional year of where we were trying to transition from everything that had happened. And here's what I believe about 2023. It's the year of opportunity. 2020, crisis. 2021, adapting. 2022, transition, and now I believe this is the year of opportunities. I believe that we have incredible opportunities before us as NewPointe, as the church, as the hope of the world. In January, we had a series called The Church, Keeping It Real. And I shared with us that Jesus said, I will build my church, ecclesia, and the gates of hell will not prevail. And we talked about that word ecclesia, which we have many, many times. And what we said is, it's not a place, it's not a building, it's a movement. And that Jesus was calling out people to be a part of his movement to bring hope and healing to a world. And literally what that meant was that they would take up stewardship of the communities and the villages that they lived in, that they would carry on the work of Jesus Christ, who said that he came to seek and to save that which was lost. He said that he came to set the captive free. And really, that's what the church is all about. And I don't think anybody would deny that we're living in a world right now that's very broken, that's hurting, which lets us know that they're open. They're open to all kinds of different things, which gives you and I incredible opportunities to be Jesus. Because we believe that Jesus makes life better and that he makes us better at life. And he wants us to be an expression of that through the local church. But who's the church? You're the church and I'm the church. It's not a building. And so we're a part of this movement. But for us to be able to carry out what Jesus did and what he calls us to do, you know what? He has to have his rightful place in our life. That means that he has to be first, not as a priority, but first literally in everything. He has to have preeminence in everything. And so let me explain it to you this way. If you had a piece of paper and you wrote out your priorities on it, he's not only what you wrote on the paper, he is the paper. And he is the pen that you used. He is everything. And so I am so excited to introduce to you a new series that we are going to be able to explore, and it's called First. Because we believe that if we're going to be the church that Jesus Christ has called us to, that he has to be first in all things, that he has to become first before everything in our life. We're going to be studying the book of Colossians. And Colossians is an interesting book because it's written by the Apostle Paul. And in this, he's calling a group of people, he's calling a local church back to putting Jesus Christ first, because our tendency is to live in compartments. And he's saying, no, Jesus must be first in all things. And so first in our marriages, first in our family, first in our careers, first in our relationships, first in our finances. We're going to look at all of those things because that's what God calls you and I to, is to have Christ first in all of these different areas so that we can experience his very, very best in our life. So I'm going to call us as a church because I believe the opportunities are huge to come back, no matter where we're at in our relationship with Jesus Christ, and make sure that he has preeminence in everything. You know, D.L. Moody said that the world has yet to see what God can do through a man or a woman who is fully surrendered to Him. D.L. Moody goes on to say, he didn't say an educated man. He didn't say a rich man. He didn't say a young man or an old man. Just said a man, a person. And D.L. Moody decided that he would be that man. And if you know anything about D.L. Moody, he had the largest influence, the greatest impact in the 20th century than anyone else. And so I'm going to call you to that. I'm going to call you to join us on this journey of learning how you and I can make sure that Jesus is preeminent in all things. I like to say it like this, that God takes full responsibility of the man or the woman who is fully surrendered to Him. And if we're going to be the church that our world needs, if we're going to be able to experience or even taste of what the church was like 2,000 years ago, where they infiltrated and invaded and impacted their community, and literally they turned their world upside down. So I want to challenge you, begin to read through the book, the letter of Colossians. It's only 4 chapters again. You can read it in a very short time. And as you read through it, I want you to take down some thoughts and notes, because we're going to walk through this. It's going to be so exciting to learn together and to be able to see what God will do in your life, in my life, in our life collectively as NewPointe, as we put Jesus Christ in His rightful place, and that is first in all things.